Good day, everyone. My name is Michelle D. Clark, and I'm your favorite small town girl with big time dreams who God has definitely shown His grace and His mercy, and He has saved me from some life threatening things. I am super excited because today is a fabulous Friday on purpose. Why? Because I said so. And you can too. That's what's available to us. We can speak those things that aren't as though they were. We can speak things into existence. And I have deemed that today is a fabulous Friday. And so can you. And actually, it was absolutely a fabulous Friday, right? Sometimes we start off with not really sure how the day may unfold, even though we may have made plans and preparations and things like that so that we could prevent poor performance. Say that with peanut butter in your mouth. But at the end of the day, it all starts and ends with our mindset. No matter how the day falls out, we can categorize it as falling into place based on how we view it, our perceptions. All right, so before we get too far into talking about mindset matters, let's go ahead first of all and welcome you, the viewers. Of course, if this is your first time viewing, then welcome to the show. And if you are a repeat supporter, then welcome back. So, also, we have some ground, we don't call them rules, we call them ground customs, right? So, household customs, if you will. So that way we can know how to, I don't want to say behave, but how to interact. Yes, how to interact. So, of course, if this is your first time, welcome, repeat supporter, welcome back. And go ahead and put your name in the chat. I don't know which way you may be viewing it. We'll put your name in the chat, either way it goes. And if you would like to have a proper shout out, and then you put your name in, you can also put down where you're watching from. So, and I don't mean like LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, although you are able to do that as well. But I mean like, where's your hometown or where you're watching from, city, state, country, that type of thing. All right, you all. So, in addition to our household customs, if you will, or ground customs, what we do is we take a break for station identification for our hydration. Yes. So, as you know, I already have my handy dandy water. As you see, I've been running through this water. So, and I have some more on deck just to make sure. But yes, we have to make sure that we stay hydrated because, as we know, our brains, our bodies work on water. Like some people say, run on dunk, that company. It runs on water, H2O. So, we want to make sure to stay hydrated so that way we can perform optimally. So, when we take that break for station identification for our hydration, what we do is if you do not have your bottle of water, this is a good time to go do it now. If you do have your bottle of water, awesome. And make sure that you utilize this time then to reach out to somebody else. Make sure that this is not the best kept secret. Make sure that others know about this show by way of sharing this, liking this, and also telling somebody about it, word of mouth. And additionally, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're not watching on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the little bell so that way you will be in the know when we drop new content, just like we're dropping tonight. Because as you may know, and then of course we'll take our break for hydration. As you may know, especially if you've been watching the series, this is a limited time, but I've been coming on each and every night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Normally we have our Tuesday Talks with Miss Clark, LMSW, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Did you guys like that plug? So let me go ahead and just put that in there real quickly. Normally we will have that, our Tuesday Talks with Miss Clark, LMSW at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I've been coming on each and every night for our Great at 8, right? Great at 8 Mindset Matters. So we discuss things that happens with the mind, breaking it down each and every day. We've been breaking it down how our mind works, breaking it down based on events, self-talk, our emotions, and then the outcome, which is our behaviors, actions, response, reactions, whatever, right? But before we go off into that, we did not get our hydration in. So I don't want to, I'm getting excited and I'm moving a little bit ahead. So, but I have my water in my hand to keep me on task, right? So, all right, you all, this is the time now for us to take our station break for station identification for our hydration. So, everybody, water's up. Let's go. Mm-mm. Now, that was just one sip. And FYI, I do drink mine room temp. So no, I do not need a refrigerator. Although, as cold as it is in Michigan, that's where I am. Ooh, I went in the car this morning and my water was actually frozen because I keep water in the car too, and it was frozen. So, but that's this time of the year. So, all right, you all, let's go ahead and get started with our Graded 8 Mindset Matters. So welcome, welcome. I see some more eyeballs popping up. So welcome to the show. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you are a repeat supporter, then welcome back. Make sure you put your name in the chat so that way I can give you a proper shout out. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's do a quick recap. So, of course, we've talked about breaking down how the mind works. So we have an event, we experience an event. Event could be anything. An event could be watching birds chirp. An event could be eating your favorite food. An event could be watching this show right now. An event could be blinking, breathing, any of those things, right? Hey, hey, what's going on? Pastor Rosa Martin is in the house. Rosa B. Martin is in the house. Hey, hey, welcome, sis, to the show, right? So, and if you like to, you can always put where you are tuning in from. So, all right. So we talked about events, right? How we view the event, our perceptions, our self talk that we have about our events is what shapes our feelings, our emotions, and then that shapes our reactions, how we respond or how we react or how we act. So, she said she's coming in from Detroit. I got to put that one up there. Yeah, Detroit. Welcome, coming in from Detroit. Awesome sauce. Welcome, Pastor Rosa in the house. All right. Yes. So, based on our thoughts about the event, and we can have positive or negative thoughts about the event, and based on that, oh, it's okay. No worries. She said she said she's a little late. That's all right. Listen, fashionably late is okay. So I was just going through some of our ground. I don't call them rules. I call them customs, where I just ask people to make sure that they stay hydrated and make sure that they put their names in the chat if they would like to have a proper shout out, as well as making sure that they like this post, share this post, and if they're watching it on YouTube, to subscribe and then click the little bell so that way that we are all in the know when I drop new content like I'm doing tonight, because this is a special series that I'm doing where I'm breaking down how the mind works. So we've had this series all the way from last Monday, so not the Monday just passed, the one prior to that, and we've been talking about how the mind works and breaking it down in different concepts and talking about how, based upon how we view the event, our self-talk, our thoughts about the event will shape our feelings, our emotions, and then our outcomes. And so we talk about not being a slave, if you will, to our gnats. And gnats are negative automatic thoughts. Not being slaves to our gnats, because sometimes we say, okay, well, if I have a negative thought about the event, does that mean that I now have to have negative emotions and negative behaviors because of those thoughts? No, we don't. Now, we do have negative automatic thoughts that happen automatically, and no, we cannot change those because well, like this, we can't stop them from happening. We can change it. We can't stop them from happening because they're negative automatic. They're automatic, but we can choose how long we sit in them, right? We can choose how long we sit in those thoughts. And what we do is, just like a radio station, if it's something that's on the radio that you want to hear, what do? Yes, we change the station and hope that the song is not playing on that station too. Right? We change the station. So that's what we do with our minds. We change the station and we input a thought replacement, replace the thought with something else that helps us to feel more positive about the situation or feel more positive about ourselves. Yes, absolutely. Thanks for highlighting that. Yes, we can choose how long we sit in those thoughts. Of course, if it's a good thought, you want to sit in it, ruminate in it, roll in it, relish it, hold on to it, take a picture, right? Write it down, whatever you need to do. So, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. We control our universe. I love that. Our universe. Yes. Let me tell you something. Pastor Rosa, she is dropping some nuggets tonight. And yes, good evening. Good evening. Dr. Kroom is in the house. Hey, hey, what's going on, Dr. Kroom? She says, yes, gnats are so annoying. Swat them. Good evening. Yes. So, Dr. Kroom, if you all have some senior pets, you definitely want to check out Dr. Kroom. She does her podcast at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you check out her channel on Facebook. And so that way you can be in the know about if you have any pets. And she's doing some virtual visits now. So yes, you don't even have to leave out from your own home. You can have a virtual visit with Dr. Kroom. So yes, make sure that you connect with her. All right. So absolutely. Gnats can be extremely annoying. We can't stop them from happening, but we can certainly swat them. We can get rid of them by way of replacing them, swatting them, replacing them with a more positive thought, a positive thought that leads us to where we want to go, the outcomes that we want to have. Now, we talked about making incremental progress. So I made an example that If you put a frog in boiling water, he's going to jump right out. But if you put a frog in lukewarm water and turn it up incrementally, he won't jump out. He will unfortunately boil to death. Now, in this example, there were no actual frogs hurt, right? So no frog hurting in these examples. It's just an example to let you know that if we have a thought and we don't like that thought and we do the stark contrast to that thought, our minds, our brains, we talked about schemas earlier, schemas, schemas, which is our filing cabinet system. It's a grouping of our thoughts and ideas and how we're able to shortcut the shortcut. So that when we have a new experience, we don't have to experience it new per se. It finds its way like, our brains is like, I've seen that before. It goes here. Yeah, we experience something like that. The good news is it's shortcuts and we don't have to experience anything new. The bad thing is it's shortcuts and we don't experience things new, right? So it's good and bad, meaning the pendulum swings both ways because sometimes those schemas can work against us because they build up our belief systems. It builds up our belief systems. Hey, hey, we have Miss Terry in the house. What's going on, young lady? And she says, remove the nets. Yes, replace with positive feedback, thoughts, and vibes. Yes, only positive vibes. Hey, hey, Doc in the house. All right. So thank you so much for that comment. And she is coming in from Michigan as well. Michigan is in the house representing. All right. So, yes. So we get to choose. And when we choose, what we want to do is we want to make sure that the thoughts that we replace them with is something that our minds won't jump out of. We're talking about the frogs, right? And I use the analogy. I don't know if you guys seen the movie Inside Out, but they would say, forget it, when they didn't want to remember when there was thoughts that was old and didn't need to be remembered anymore, and they would throw them out. And they would say, forget it. So the thing is, we want to make sure that our schemas, our belief systems don't say, forget it, when we try to insert, not try, when we work on inserting a more favorable thought. So when we challenge our thoughts, first we want to ask ourselves, is it true or is it untrue? Then if it's untrue, of course, replace it with something that is true. If it is true, but it's not favorable to us, meaning that it's unhelpful to how we want the outcome to be, how we want to feel about ourselves, or whatever the circumstance is, then we want to replace it with something that's more helpful. I use the example of when you put your pants on and, oh my goodness, I've gained weight, muffin top. Now, it's true, right? You look at it, you're like, it's empirical evidence, it's right here. But does that help us feel good about ourselves? No, it does not. So we want to replace it with something that's more positive, incrementally, and that is using affirmations. We can use the I am statements. I am beautiful. I am valuable. I am wonderful. I woke up like this, whatever, I am exuberating. I am exhilarating. I am awesome. I'm fabulous. Using those types of statements. I am creative. I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I'm able. Watch out now. So, any of those things. And then, of course, looking around and being grateful. So, having an attitude of gratitude. This is something new, you all. We didn't talk about this before. But having an attitude of gratitude, because there are things that we have that others don't have. There's things that we have that we should be grateful for. And when I'm meeting with clients, sometimes they're like, I say, oh, what's the good news? I always start my sessions off with, what's the good news? What you got for me today? And they say, really nothing's happened. It doesn't have to be about anything happening. What's good? And we can start something as basic as, I woke up this morning on this side of the dirt. Hello. It could be something as simple as, I woke up this morning on this side of the dirt and I have a house that I reside in that has heat. That when I cut on the light switch, that the lights actually come on. When I flip the switch for the water, there's water that comes out of it. I have people around me who love me and care about me. Some people don't, and we take that for granted. I'm able to speak. Let's take a quick detour, you all. So for people who may not know my story, there was a time where I was unable to speak because I had 2 strokes back to back, 2 days apart. I was unable to speak. My whole right side, I couldn't use it. But God transformed, right? So when I talk about transform, when I'm talking about, I'm a small town girl with big time dreams who God has definitely shown his grace and mercy and he saved me from some life-threatening things. That's one of the things I'm talking about. So inserting an attitude of gratitude. Yes, inserting an attitude of gratitude. I love a more favorable thought. Exchanging those things. Absolutely, Pastor Rose. I know that's a little bit late in the comments, but yes, having that attitude of gratitude. It's so necessary and so important for our mental wellness. We talked about something earlier. Well, yesterday we talked about, we talked about belief equity. So we talked about having that belief equity. So let me give you guys a framework. We talked about how there are times when we have built up a negative belief equity, meaning that we've lied to ourselves so many times, and not in a good way, meaning we've set goals, we've set promises. We said, oh, I'm going to do this, and we don't do this. Or I'm going to do that, and we don't do that. Well, I'm going to do the other, and guess what? We didn't do this, that, or the other. And what happens is then we build up this negative equity, belief equity in ourselves, and we stop believing ourselves. We stop trusting ourselves. It's just like if we're in a relationship with someone else and they continuously lie to us, we're going to stop believing in them. We're going to stop believing them and believing in them. We're not going to trust them. Guess what? It happens to us as well within ourselves. So then we stop setting the goals. We stop making the promises. We stop saying what we're going to do. And we are left with a life of mediocrity. And then we try to say things to ourselves to make ourselves feel better about living that life of mediocrity. Oh, I didn't want to do that anyways. Oh, well, I'm sure if I'd have done that, that probably wouldn't have turned out right anyways. Or maybe I would have lost my boo thing if I blew up. Or, we can, listen, anybody who wants a reason to not do something, any excuse to do. We can make up all kinds of excuses to rationalize mediocrity. But what if we want to live that life of freedom? What if we want to live that life of abundance? What if we want to live out our dreams, our desires, and we want to manifest those things? How about we manifest the person that we want to become? If we want to manifest that, then yes, those incremental shifts to move our beliefs and then making the incremental progress. So I know some people say, oh, dream big, think big, and that's cool. Please do that. Don't limit yourselves. I think I just sent somebody a message saying, don't limit your challenges, challenge your limits. Challenge your limits. That's cool. And in the process of dreaming big, thinking big, we still have to make those incremental progress, the incremental shifts, the slight adjustments, just like a rocket ship. A rocket ship is off course 97% of the time. And the reason why it is able to hit its course is because it makes those adjustments, those micro adjustments along the way in order to make it to the course. That's what we should do. That's what we need to do if we want to hit those dreams, goals, aspirations, live the life of freedom that we deserve and that we desire. So make those shifts in our belief systems. And part of which is, again, the affirmations and the attitude of gratitude. You might want to keep a gratitude journal. And let me tell you something that I do. I see we're at the 18-minute mark, and this is just a 20-minute show, you all, only a 20-minute show. So one of the things that I do is I actually set my alarm. Ooh, I like that. Hold on one second. It's not the enemy, it's the inner me. Yes, the inner me. I love that. I absolutely love that. Yes. And yes, making the shifts in our belief systems, 100%. So let me tell you something that I do. I actually have in my phone every single morning, my alarm goes off. My alarm goes off and it says gratitude. So no matter what I'm doing, I stop what I'm doing and I just name something that I'm grateful for. Every single day. Something that I'm grateful for. One day, I don't remember what was I listening to? I was listening to something. So in the morning, I put on my Pandora, and I have I have Travis Green station playing, and I don't remember if I was listening to something on his station, but the bottom line was, I got so filled with gratefulness. I got so excited about gratefulness, about what God has brought me through. I just started full-fledged crying, y'all. I just started full-fledged crying. I'm in the mirror and I'm just bawling. I'm just like, oh, This is just in a good way. I was so happy and grateful that I'm able to talk, that I'm able to breathe on my own, that I'm able to do things that I took for granted. And in that moment, when I had that stroke, when I had those strokes, it was all taken away just like that. But guess what? But God, He healed me up and brought it back just like that. 24 hours, I was back like this. No therapy, no nothing. Were there some residuals? Yeah. But I was back to me, and I was back to being able to testify and tell the testimony of the goodness of God. Now, yes, this show is, I know there's other walks of life who are watching the show who may not believe or have a different belief system, and that's cool. Whoever your source is, tap into it. Whatever your source is, do that. That's cool. I'm not here to pass judgment or tell anybody how to believe. All I know is what God has done for me. And so, yes, this great at 8, this mindset matters. Yes, it matters what we put in our minds. It matters how we manifest things by way of making that incremental progress towards what we want to believe and what we want to believe in, getting that belief system back. So I see we're at the 20-minute mark. We're actually a little bit past that. And yes, thank you so much. Yes, but God, thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, and we're going to go a little bit deeper dive into how we can build up some more of that belief equity, positive belief equity in ourselves. It's so important because I'm going to tell you what, when we don't have the belief equity in ourselves, we don't believe in ourselves. My mom has a saying, she says, it's just like a leaf blowing in the wind. A leaf blowing in the wind. That wind will take us anywhere. So, yes, and it doesn't matter how many degrees we have. I have 2 degrees and about to get a third one, y'all, in the making. Stay tuned for that announcement. But the bottom line is, it doesn't matter how many degrees we have. It doesn't matter who we are. It doesn't matter what we've experienced. Everybody has belief systems. Everybody has NATs, negative automatic thoughts. Everybody. It's just how we control it, how we control our lives, how long we sit in it, how we're able to make those changes. And yes, as a life coach, as a mindset management coach, as a licensed mental health therapist, yes, I have NATs too. Just because I sit on this side of the desk or this side of the screen doesn't mean that I don't have them. I just recognize them when they come. I acknowledge it. Okay, I see what you are, and then I'm able to make those replacements. And we're going to show you all how to do those too. Yes, we're going to show you how to do that too. So stay tuned tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to have another show, another Great at 8 Mindset Matters. In addition to that, you all, for the ladies only, we will have tomorrow at 1 p.m. our Lift Nation Freedom at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will be in the Zoom room and we will have a mini mindset training. We're going to talk about how Lift Nation is going to go to work for you, the professional woman, and we're going to have networking opportunity. We'll get a chance to break bread and connect with each other. So please come. Listen, FREE, it's free. All you have to do, the only thing it's going to cost you is your winning smile and awesome personality. And yes, I would love to have you all on camera so that way I'm not just talking to blank screens with names or maybe have your brand picture like that. It's going to be interactive. So please be camera ready if you can. If you're driving or if you're at work, I get it. No worries. But please, and all you have to do is go to bit.ly/Lift Nation Freedom at 1 and register. The link is live now. So go ahead and register now and be in the Zoom room tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing each and every one of you all. Oh, and if you do have any questions, you all, so if you do have any questions, you can always reach me at info. First of all, you can reach me on all the major social medias, MicheleDClark, Lift, as you can see on there. And also you can send me a question or your questions or comments or topics as well, info@MicheleDClark.com, and that's MicheleDClark.com, 1 L Michelle, because you don't need 2 and 1 does the same. So all right, you all, Thank you all so much for tuning in and for allowing me these 5 extra minutes. And I will see you all tomorrow at our Freedom at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you are a lady. And of course, I will see you all also tomorrow evening for our Great at 8 where mindset matters. In the meantime, my name is Michelle D. Clark. I am the Mindset Management Coach for professional women with Lift Nation, where we empower you, the professional woman, to live inspired, free, and transform. Take care and God bless. See you tomorrow.